Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back. This is episode 11, along with my colleague and the Optimist Journal's own. That's Wendy Jones. I'm Jason DeBillius, and right here, the man in the middle, the volleyball grinder, the best volleyball writer possibly ever, Volleyball Mag Zone, and the new author of We Were Kings.
You're too kind.
Travis Mewhirter.
How we doing, Mr. Jason?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Dude, just another day.
Man, you know that I can kill an air, and between Wendy and you guys know I could talk forever. So I think I would, with your permission, I'd be entirely without it, Wendy. I think let's get to the book. Let's get to the book first.
Yeah.
All right, you have a book called We Were Kings. Talk to me. What's it about?
Yeah. So the book, it took so many different forms. So originally, it's funny how it ended as my original vision started. So it began as, I don't know if we have any golf fans in the house, but it started as like kind of the golfer or the beach volleyball version of Tales from Q School.
Okay.
So with golf, you have a similar type of qualifying process in that you have to go through what's called Q School, which is sort of like a beach volleyball qualifier, where there's different levels of it. And I read it, and it was just about the qualifier guys just trying to make it.
Right.
So I was like, well, no one's done this with beach volleyball. That's what I'm about to start doing. So I just wanted to write the book that I wanted to read, because there was no books on beach volleyball. So I started writing that, but then the deeper I got into the stories, the more I wanted to build the historical context. So then I built up the historical context, but then the book was just too big and I rushed through it too fast. So then it just reverted back to its original form.
Yeah.
So the format that it ended up taking is just a walk through the 2016 AVP season, and each stop takes you through a different facet of the struggle, the grind, the beautiful, wonderful, terrible, no good journey that is beach volleyball that we all love so much. And so, it just takes you through how difficult it is to just qualify. And then it takes you through how difficult it is to qualify and stay in the main draw. And once you're in the main draw, how difficult it is to sustain staying in the main draw while also paying for rent and food and stuff.
Well, did you follow the McKibbins for this whole tour?
Yeah,
I mean, listen, you
could
definitely speak from personal experience.
Yeah.
Wendy, I need a quick favor. The window.
Oh.
Let's see if you can successfully navigate through that.
What am I doing?
It's a clockwise thing.
Oh, is it open right now?
Yeah. The only reason why I noticed is because I looked at the shot and it was shining. The light was shining right in that beautiful face.
Oh, thank you. All right.
That's it.
There we go.
And the curtain, you could just, that's it. Boom. Now we got our shot back.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So, I was trying to let Wendy talk, because let me tell you something. I'm the master of interrupting people. So is this journey taken through the eyes of the players like the McKibbins or Jeff Samuels, yourself, who's so the grind?
I mentioned myself in the introduction, just to say, like, this is who I am. But that's pretty much about it. It takes you through the journey of pretty much every player you can think of on tour, just their background. Because every guy, it's mostly guys, because guys have such an untraditional path to volleyball, and especially beach volleyball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, it's got Brunsting and freshmen and guys at that level. It's got guys like Chris Lors in Ohio, who are just the qualifier grinders, who just look at it as this is just a really fun thing to do. You got guys like Billy Allen, John Mayer, Phil Dahlhauser. So it takes you through all levels of American beach volleyball, mostly on the guys' side. There is a chapter, AVP New York. It just shows that, like, how much bigger the girls' side of the game is, just because girls volleyball is the most popular high school sport.
And then being an NCAA sport helped too.
Yeah.
I mean, when that happened, I coach
Huge.
club. I'm the volleyball skills coach for Endless Summer Beach Volleyball. Absolute assassins. We got like a whole bunch of commitments. But when it became an NCAA sport, I noticed West Coast Volleyball. Who else? I think beach volleyball, Hermosa Beach Volleyball Club.
Oh,
The club sizes have tripled.
Oh yeah, no.
You know?
My oldest daughter, when she was 15, I gave her the advice, being 5'9" and not getting taller. Living here, I said, if you want to play somewhere in college, I'd switch to beach right now. You're sitting in a window of time that you're getting the best coaching, and it's not full throttle yet. And in those couple of years, she's going to TCU next year.
Nice, congratulations.
And thank you. But that it's gone.
That's Hector.
From nowhere, yes, absolutely. We love
Hector.
Yeah.
Where's my camera? Hector. There it is.
But the opportunity for the girls is huge. Whereas my son walked in the other night, and I wrote about this yesterday. He walks in the kitchen, and my daughter's there, and her friend, who's a current beach volleyball player at Washington, he walks in from indoor practice. He's like, "You guys are so lucky." He's like, you have all of this opportunity. He goes, "I love playing beach."
Yeah.
You know, and there's just not the same opportunity. So,
there's
you got to come up with, you create it yourself, basically, which is what you're writing about.
Yeah, that's why it was so fun for me to do, because like no interview was the same. No one has the same path to beach volleyball.
Yeah.
You got the guys in Hawaii. I think that's probably my favorite chapter, just going through all the Hawaiian guys.
Yeah.
And just how absurdly talented their childhood group of friends is.
Right.
Even the ones that didn't play beach, like you got Micah Christensen, who's arguably the best setter in the world. Then you have the Shojis, Spencer McLaughlin, Brad Lawson, like guys who aren't playing beach anymore, but were ridiculous indoor players too. Like that's the most talented group of kids I've ever seen.
Yeah. And yet
Like
so unorthodox compared to the way they're coming up today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So I loved it because you're just reading about the fun of the game and how many touches they got just in an average day of just going out and having fun.
Yeah, they just went out
versus
to
this constant grind that I feel like a lot of kids are going through today. Kind of takes some of the fun out of it.
Yeah,
you know,
you have to. I think the guys that make, like, you look at like a Stafford Slick. Yeah. There's no him and Tim Bomgren. There's no reason they should be good at beach volleyball.
Well, Tim's a super athlete though.
Yeah, they're both just these like freakish athletes who just grew up in Minnesota. Stafford stumbled across it because it was at like a club rush in college, and he was like, "Oh, volleyball, like, that looks kind of cool." Yeah. Like he was a basketball player, but he wasn't like big enough to really take the abuse in the post. And he's like, "Oh, I could just hit a volleyball really hard."
Oh, that's my story.
Yeah,
get me out of basketball.
He made like the high performance team and was like, "Oh, like this is a real thing."
Yeah.
And you look at a guy like Theo Brunner, who was a crazy talented indoor player, but growing up, like,
cool story.
He didn't play high school volleyball really. Like his team in
spent a lot of time in Connecticut. Yeah,
his team in Connecticut was like rotated like gym class, and then his highlight tape that he sent to Todd Rogers, that his mom sent to Todd Rogers at Santa Barbara, was him dunking basketballs.
Yeah.
That's how he got to Santa Barbara, was because he had a video of him jumping really high and dunking, and Todd was like, "Yeah, let's take a shot on this kid."
No.
He was a middle blocker, and one of the best blockers.
Of course he was a middle blocker. Yeah. You see someone dunk, you're a coach, you're like, middle.
Yeah.
Like, I just love stories like that. It was so fun for me to just like talk to guys about all their stories, and everyone was so willing to talk about it because no one had really asked them before I wrote about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's always funny, like you mentioned that I'm the best beach volleyball writer, but I'm like also like the only one who does it regularly. Like Ed Chen takes photos and writes stories about the events, and other people will write about it occasionally, but I'm the only one who actually dedicates it a fair amount. So,
ladies and gentlemen, Travis finishes first, second, and third in that race.
It's like if you have like a kid who like finishes second out of two, you're like, "Hey, you won the silver medal."
Oh my God, like a de facto participation trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the work that I speak for myself and you on that, I think I agree with you when you say the players, these elite athletes, are willing to talk about it, and if they're willing to talk about it, we're willing to listen. If that conversation happens, we're putting it out there, and I think that helps raise this not just awareness, but just moves the volleyball needle for the sport of beach volleyball. And I think you've done a very, very commendable job.
I appreciate that.
And it's so cool that we're sitting in the same seat, because I think we have different paths, but it's the same grind.
Yeah.
So because I've been at this for a while. This is one-on-one. This isn't volleyball Tuesday after. So that's so now you're taking another 10 episodes and this and that. So basically it covers 2016. Is that
yeah? So just watch through. Each chapter is a stop on the 2016 season. So I lead the chapter with an anecdote from the tournament, and then like one of my favorite anecdotes is when Billy and Theo won Seattle in 2016. Yeah. So they win their semifinal, and Billy was playing his first FIVB the next week. And so he's like, "Well, if we don't check our bags, like, we're not going to make our flight." So they win the semifinal, jet off to the Tacoma International Airport, check their bags, get back, and they pretty much get out of the car and like the AVP had like made special parking spots for him just so
Yeah,
you get out of the car, run on.
Stop playing, man. It's your finalist.
They play the Crabs, they win, and then they're like, all right, one picture, and boom, they go. And like they're off, and they get to the Frankfurt airport, and Rich Lamborn met him there. He's like, Billy, have you ever been to this airport before? And Billy's like, I've never even been to Europe.
No,
so like Billy wins an FIVB or wins the AVP, qualifies for his first FIVB. Then he plays another one, I think Portugal, qualifies for that one, gets home, and he had never played an FIVB, never won an AVP, and it was just like this month-long just rush of like he had little catch in tow and Janelle, and it's such a fun story.
Yeah,
this
kid's got tan lines. This kid has tan, farmer's tan. Shame on you, Billy.
Yeah. So each chapter is a stop on the tour, leads with an anecdote from that, and then gets into so like that chapter, for example, is how crazy family life is. On the AVP tour, just like bringing your son and Janelle along, like checking bags, going to Germany and Portugal, and then coming back from Seattle, and then the next chapter will be something different. Like in San Francisco, was the future of the guys game.
Okay,
when you had Brunsting and Chase, I think the lead is when Brunsting and Chase played the Crabs, and it was like, well, this is the next generation of American talent.
Match.
Yeah,
that was a good match.
It was a great match. They took them to 3.
In 2016, Brunsting and Frischman had a ton of great matches.
Yeah.
I refer you to Manhattan Beach. They played Burek and Hudson Bates. That was center court. That was a good match. Went to the 3rd set. So, and Hudson. I mean, Burek and Bates were playing pretty good volleyball together. And there was another match they played against Raffle and Kevin, who at that time I thought that was their year. You're talking about 2016, right?
Yeah.
How about that's the year that they made the qualifier for Seattle, and came as a 16th seed and beat the number 1 seed.
First time ever.
Patterson and
Oh,
and then they won the second one, and I sent Kevin a text. I'm like, Kevin, the worst you can do is 5th now, right? You know that, right? So just play hands free. Don't worry about none of that other stuff.
Yeah.
Dumb it down, So when did I meet you? I meet you 2016 or 2017.
Gosh, I think
the NCAA.
I think I met you in person for the first time at the USAV Collegiate Beach Championships in Hermosa. We were watching Sarah and Kelly play. I think Corinne Quiggle and Brittany Howard or Nicolette Martin and Trish Cannon.
Yeah, and the men was Hagen Smith and
Hagen and Jackson Bantle. Versus Lucas Yoder.
And the kid from UCI, from Irvine. What was his name? Lefty.
Michael Seda.
That's it.
There it is.
You got it. Yeah. Thought I had a good memory. Okay. Shit, I'm old compared to this dude. Well, I am old, but that was fun.
Yeah,
that was fun. I was wearing all white. I was out there looking like an angel. Had that was crazy. That was 2017. That's what that was. And the only reason why I know is because Braxton was there. If it were 2016, there would have just been me and Kelly.
Yeah, because that was also just Sarah and Kelly's last year of college, and they went to 3 because I watched. That was the first time I'd seen Sarah and Kelly play in person. It was the first time I'd seen Corinne and Brittany Howard play. Okay. And the first time I saw Nicolette and Therese play, and they went to 3 twice, and I was like, whoa, like maybe people can actually give Sarah and Kelly a run.
Yeah. When was the first time you saw Sarah and Kelly play?
Actually, I think it was that tournament, with the exception of a good friend of mine calling me when I lived right down there in Hermosa and saying, you got to get down here and watch my daughter play in the CBBA. She just called me, and Sarah Hughes is in her pool, and she's freaking out. So I didn't know who she was at that point. Yeah. And wasn't following beach volleyball as closely as I do now, and ran down there and saw her play in some little CBBA, and I was like, yeah, all right, Sam, you got your work cut out for you. Yeah. She's good. Jeez. And then I remember watching when the national championship came to
Jones. Are you like the 6 degrees of separation where like everybody she's the Kevin Bacon of volleyball?
Yeah, I know this is
I know Wendy Jones.
Yeah,
I know this guy that knows Wendy Jones.
If you throw a couple kids in the club volleyball world, all of a sudden, and you pay attention.
Yes.
And Patty Smith told me I had to find this guy when I was at P1440.
Yeah, in San Jose.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, you got to meet this guy. He's a swimmer. He's a volleyball player and he's a writer. And I'm like, okay, show me where, because those are my things. Like, I can talk swimming, volleyball, and writing all day long. So I loved how you open your book, talking about getting to that point of making the decision to come out here. Yeah. And saying, you had it all. You were sitting there with a great job. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a sports writer? That sounds awesome to me. And just going, there's something else.
Yeah, because once you settle into a routine, it's just, you stop and things start to come a little bit easy. I don't know. I get a little restless when I'm not being challenged.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what it was when I lived in Florida for a year and a half, and I wrote for this little daily called the Northwest Florida Daily News.
Yeah.
The greatest job you could imagine. Like, me and my boss were like best friends. He let me do whatever I wanted. He was like, yeah, like if you want to write on this, write on that. And like I had literally no complaints, but I just felt like restless and I couldn't explain it.
Do you twitch in bed?
Oh,
Do you know one of these things like your girlfriend's laying next to you doing?
Yeah.
And she's like,
oh my gosh. Dude, when I fall asleep,
I got that. Yeah.
I get so scared to fall asleep on airplanes.
Yeah.
Because I had like the double twitch. And just
Double.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I need to punch you in the face and spill your hot coffee all over you. I promise.
Yeah, it's not falling off the cliff.
Travis got to ride first class, people.
Oh
Otherwise,
God.
you catch a two-piece.
I told my brother about that. He was dying because all three of us. I have two brothers, and we all just like it's hilarious because like we'll be watching a movie, and I'll just see my older brother just like twitch like that.
Why do you think I asked? Dude, why do you think I asked? I asked because anyone that asks that is because they have someone in their life that does that.
Yeah.
Look no further than my girlfriend. She has something called restless leg. You know, like besides the twitches.
Yeah.
Like I'll see her and I'm just like,
watch out.
yeah, you almost got me. This is a king. This ain't a California king where it's straight, right? And she could and two-piece you. Nah, it's a regular king. I got room. But like we go to the movies and her leg. Dude, I wish the camera could see this. Her leg is just doing this.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Like if I have a pen, just constantly tapping.
You can do a lot with that extra energy though.
Yep.
And
man.
You're doing it. So
yeah. I just need something to do all the time.
That's cool. Well, that's such is life, right?
Yeah.
Some people they're constantly moving. You're at Yosemite, right? Probably on your way to Mammoth at some point. I'm going there later. That's again the reason why I asked is because I can identify. I got someone close in my life, my life force who's a lot like you. She's like a dude with long hair. I tagged you on your thing, so if you see on your phone like a tag request, just accept it. And some of your folks who are looking for this, they can just watch it now.
I'll share it out when we're finished.
If your phone's next, no, share it now.
Well, so I took all the social media off my phone.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not just like constantly scrolling. So like Instagram, I'll download it, post something, post a story, delete it.
Take it off.
It's great. So I'm not just like constantly staring. So I have no Facebook, no Twitter, no Instagram on my phone. It's great.
Nice. So I guess the question is, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this because everyone's kids coming up who are taking a similar path to you will ask just this easy but not too easy question. What got you into volleyball?
So I see.
Do you remember the day?
I see my boy Judd Smith on the Facebook Live, and he is kind of responsible for me getting into beach volleyball at all. So when I grew up in Maryland, and I had not touched the ball outside gym class, and I moved to Florida. So my parents and I drove down to Navarre, this little like pinprick of a town in Northwest Florida. The closest major city is probably Pensacola.
Okay.
And so we drive down and we get there. It was an 18-hour drive. So we walk over to the nearest restaurant. It's this Italian place called Rocco's. And our waitress.
And where is this again?
This is in Navarre, Florida.
Okay.
It's on the Panhandle. The prettiest beach I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
The absolute prettiest. Like that Destin, Fort Walton Beach. Like if you want to see a really pretty beach that like will make you feel like you're in the Caribbean, Navarre, Florida, Destin, Florida, Fort Walton Beach, any of those will do. It's that white sand with the teal, like that teal see-through water. It's unbelievable. But we go to this restaurant and our waitress is like, "Oh, you're tall. Do you play volleyball?" It's like, "No, I played basketball." And she said, "Oh, right across the street, we have this bar called Juana's, and we play leagues there and everything." I was like, "Oh, like that sounds great. Like just being nice." But I was like, in my head, I was like, "No, I'm not playing volleyball. It's a girls' sport." But Navarre's so small that there's only one way to get to the beach from inland, and it's the Navarre Causeway. It's just one way in, one way out. But there was an accident one day, like a month into me moving there, and so you couldn't drive across.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I'm getting to the beach. Like, I grew up in Maryland. Like, if I can go to the beach, I'm going. So I walked across the Navarre Causeway, and on my way over, I saw Juana's, and it was just this little bar, like beautiful bar, little pagoda thing. And I saw my waitress playing beach volleyball. I was like, "Hey, like, what are you up to?" And she goes, "Oh, we're just playing beach volleyball. Like, do you want to hop on our team?" I was like, well, all I was going to do is just read on the beach anyway. So sure. So I played. And then like a couple weeks later, there was a blind draw fours tournament and played in that. And then Judd saw me playing like a week or so later. And I didn't know that volleyball is like, it's a weird thing if a volleyball bounces. because like I'd grown up in basketball, like balls bounce, and so like I hit one and it caught a nice divot, and it bounced pretty high, and Judd was like, "Let me get my hands on it, just like let me work with you, let me make." And so as soon as I started, like now I had something to get good at and to really try, and I was so bad. Like I showed my girlfriend Delaney film of my first ever open tournament, and we were like crying laughing at how bad I was. But I just loved it.
We all been,
and then so Judd would like take me out to the beach with like a bag of balls, and he'd set a trash can in the high line and a trash can in the cut shot, and he'd just be like, "Yeah, just toss the ball to yourself and hit a ball in the trash can line." And so I'd hit like 15 trash cans in the line, which would take me like 5 hours because I was so bad. And then I'd hit 15 trash cans in the cut shot, and then we'd just go like drink a beer, get lunch, and then we'd just do it all over again. And so my life in Florida was just wake up, go write stuff, go to Juana's, play beach volleyball, and just do it over again.
Sounds pretty fun.
So you went straight to the beach. It wasn't really predominantly indoor then.
I've never played indoor volleyball in my life.
That's a good career decision. Listen, you're gonna have a lot of volleyball.
That's what everyone says. Everyone I've talked to is just like, man, I wish I could have done that.
Yeah. Well, I'll say what I'm saying before I say next by saying that the best beach players ever play the game, at least top 5 were former indoor players. So it's just one of those career changes where if they're gonna do it quickly. Like I thought John Hyden got out of indoor early enough. 1996 indoor Olympian. A lot of people don't know that. They called him Whiskers. He had this big old beard. Karch got out on pretty much on time. He was 27. The math tells me he was 27 in 1988.
Karch played indoor for a while though.
Yeah, but he was 27 years old in 1988, and quantitatively, you're right. He traveled everywhere. You think about 84 Olympics, 85
That's when
World
I ran
Championships,
into him at the Tokyo Airport.
Pan Am Games and the Olympics again, and then World Championship again. And then he played a little bit in Italy. Took the money around a little bit in 1992 and 86. So if he's 27 and 88, 96 says that he got into the beach kind of at the right age because 33, man, a lot of these elite athletes, especially the ones who train at that level, take a million swings. You fall off the cliff, like I'm 40, I'm 48. If I got in the beach when I was 33, never mind 43. If I got into 33, I'd be right here. I'd be right in the
in Hyden years, you're 18.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And honestly, between me and Hyden was with the Olympic team. I played indoor in Germany. So as far as like repetitions are concerned and this and that, probably almost the same. He's a good player though. I can't mess with that dude. But I think a lot of people who are playing indoor, if you're not sure if you want to play indoor or beach, and if you are 30 right now, just play beach. It's not about the jump; it's about the landing. It's about the forgiveness on your joints.
I wouldn't touch a hard court. I'm
for a long time.
I would not touch a hard court.
For a long time, I have my problem. My back, left shoulder, and Achilles just landing, and then you play on the beach. You're like, one thing has nothing to do with the other. Why don't I have shoulder pain anymore? It's like physical therapy. And I started Central Park because they had a sand court. They built a sand court in 1996, and then like a decade later, a guy named John Stossel from 2020. He's an avid player. He's like in his 60s and he still plays. Him, Justin Stack, Kofi, a bunch of people, we held a benefit, and I think they raised like $110,000, and they tore down the one and built 2 level courts, so they're still there. So what I would do is anyone that was in town, anyone playing local tournaments at Long Beach, Long Island, or anyone that was in town or playing at Point Pleasant, I was an elite indoor player, so I would use that to cross train and help them prepare for tournaments. So that was the extent of my beach volleyball. I played one tournament, 96. 96 with Tyler Lucas, big guy, heavyset black guy that went to Redondo. He's always out there. That was adventurous. I have a bone to pick with him because he likes to play, but he don't like to train.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin and Rafu, who were playing together, invited me to train with them to Temecula. And it's like, is that too far? And I'm like, I'm too lazy to push a gas pedal, right? 4 seats in this table, we're there. So, and Tyler's like, you got to work. And I'm like, how about this? They no, I got to work. And I'm like, dude, we're playing next week. Let's, Rob McLean, who you met.
I like Rob.
Rob's like, I'll go. I'll go.
Rob is one of the most athletic people I've ever seen. I still don't know what his dominant hand is. I'll play him and he'll just yell from left-handed, and then he'll hit a jump serve right-hand. I'm like, what?
It was a good year for him.
Makes sense.
He was 2 points away from making the draw twice. He was in Hermosa Beach, 2 points away. Boag and Jacobs. Manhattan Beach, 2 points. Was down 20-11 and came back and made it like 18 or whatever. First set was a painful loss, 22-20.
Dude, the freeze is scary.
So is
Yeah.
Robin Rob.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Freeze is scary. Just
I
ask.
could be up 14-2. Not that I'm ever up 14-2,
Yeah.
but I would just be like, this is not enough. Like, we gotta get this over with. As soon as they score 1 point at the freeze, I'm like,
That's the scoring
Yeah.
freeze messes with people's money.
yeah, it does.
I don't care what Madison McKibben said. I like it. It's a grind and this and that. I just want people to be a little bit more honest with me. If you don't like it, Donald ain't gonna shoot nobody, man. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's not like you're voluntarily publicly opposing. If someone asks you, that's not your thing. Lucena has been pretty not adamant, but I asked him. He's like, no. I don't like
Well,
it, you know.
Donald made the rule to make it more entertaining for the fans.
I was
which
gonna
is
say,
total
as a spectator,
Absolutely.
it's amazing. As an athlete, because I've never played on the athlete side.
Yeah.
As a spectator, I love it.
The spectator,
It's so
like,
fun.
it's great. Like,
Yeah.
you remember,
Slick and Allen like
San
it.
Oh,
Francisco,
so fun.
yeah.
Slick and Allen, like if you remember,
14-9.
Ricardo is 14-9,
There's always
and
a chance.
the previous
It's the
set, if you
best.
remember, is 2015.
Was
It
it?
was 2015 semifinals, and Ricardo, I don't know if it was Pretty.
It was Reed.
It was Reed. They were up 2015, and Slick and Allen came back and won, and then they were up 14-9. Slick and Allen came back and won. Just ask
And
Jeff
that's when,
Sam,
Yeah.
that
ask
was,
Michael
like, the rules
Brunsting
over
and Jeff Samuels if they like
Yeah.
the freeze.
They came back against the Partain.
Yes.
That was my favorite match I've watched in a long time.
Oh my God! I don't feel like
Yeah.
them kids got
Which,
robbed.
by the way,
of it.
Miles Partain, like if he were a stock, like you got to buy now.
Yes.
That kid's gonna be
Catch him on the way up.
unbelievable.
Real.
Holy cow! I had to play him in P1440 Huntington to get to the quarterfinals, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's a good draw, Miles and Marty." It's like, no, it's not. Miles, like he's 16 going on like 29. He's so good.
Judges said the same thing.
Yeah.
Hold on, the freeze broke my heart against the kiddos.
Yeah.
It's
For
my
sure.
most. By the way, you know I'm a big YouTube guy in my
Yeah.
varsity sports. That's my second most viewed YouTube video.
Really,
My
the
second
Partains,
most-
dude,
yes.
they were a phenomenon.
Did
Like,
you see the crowd?
Yeah,
It was unreal.
It was center court
It
where
was
it's
so
everywhere.
fun.
You know,
Yeah.
you have like that bathroom
Yeah.
stall or whatever that people go downstairs use the
Yeah.
bathroom. They
Yeah.
climbed on top of that, set up beach chairs and lawn chairs so they could watch it
So fun.
from up there. For you guys at home or whatever, you guys at home definitely give that a look, man.
Yeah.
It was like a tennis style cheering. Everyone was just like, yeah, whoa, they whoa, and long rally ends, yay! It felt like I was at the U.S. Open.
they're so
Yeah, no,
fun.
those boys are
Yeah.
they're so graceful when you watch them play. I always say it's like watching chess.
Mm.
The way the Partain brothers move
Yep.
on the court.
Yeah.
They're so in sync. It's so beautiful.
And they're both
And then
so
after
fun.
that game,
yeah.
I ran into their dad and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the freeze. He goes, no, Wendy, it's a great rule. I'm like,
Yeah.
your boys just lost. He's like, no, it's good stuff. So
Yeah.
they're first class.
It's so
for sure.
humble too.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, Jeff Samuels is trying not to be too upset. It's because there were some doubles or whatever. And
Yeah.
there's this play where they run the back set and he tries to
Uh-huh.
square his shoulder and go over. And Jeff's like, he goes to the ref. And I talked to Jeff about this. He's like, I love the move. Okay. Everybody loves the move. But make sure he's square when he's doing
Yeah.
it, So now that's 14-11. They're trying to come back, right? And they make it 14-12. And there was like a double, like a shoot.
Yeah.
And Jeff blocks it. And he looks at the ref a little bit. You see the shades this way, he leaves it alone, right? And then it's the same set, same double.
Yeah.
And it was the tip. This time he jumps in there and he blocks it. And you know how he falls on the ground, tries and avoids the net. And he just looks at the ref like there's no, he had that look like there's no kid exception to the double hit rule. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well,
Yeah.
Jeff has never met a ref that he liked. I don't think he. I had to ref one of his matches in Laguna, and I called a double on him. He's like, "That's so bad." I was like, "I'm glad you agree with me that set was so bad."
He's
didn't
just like, he
appreciate
goes,
that.
Jeff goes, he got that little DMX, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
Just glad he ain't got no gold teeth, man. I would go to her with no gold teeth. Jeff, love you to death wherever you at, man. And I love coaching with you. He's with us endless
Nice.
summer,
Nice.
along with Rob McLean. And
It's a good crew.
and sometimes Jeremy Casepier. And Jaron Barreto. The best coach no one talks about.
Yeah.
The best
Yeah,
coach
that
no
was
one
a good
talks about.
talk. We talked to him here.
We had him and Jeff
And-
Alzina
Yeah.
Oh my
on the
gosh.
same show. Speaking of good
Yeah.
coaches, right?
Love Alzina.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's a
great.
savage.
Yeah.
He's a savage. He is the James Brown. He is the James Brown of volleyball. He is the hardest working man. He's in that. He's like James Brown when we're not leaving the studio till this thing is right. No,
Yeah.
it's good enough. Good enough. It's call it a day. Call it a day. No, that's Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff is great.
Yeah,
like his story is so cool. We had him on the podcast not too long ago, and he just launched Greece's national program with no coaching experience and took him to the Olympics 2 quads ahead of their projection. Like, that's nuts.
That was 2004, right?
That was
that's when they hosted.
Yeah, right.
So they wanted to. Their idea was to start the program, have them ready by 2004. Well, Alzina had them ranked 15 in the world by 2000. It was crazy.
So technically sound. So fun to talk to.
I said that on the video when Jeff six-pack one of the partains. I said, "That's striking the child. You just struck." I said, "You just struck a minor." And then we started cracking up. I remember 2004. They were the host, bringing people back to memory lane. And I'm talking too much. I'm gonna shut up in a minute because this is about you. Set 4, they're up 2-1, 20-12 is the score. They bench Lloyd Ball. They put in Donald Suja. Just, I guess, because they figured that was game, and you just, get him some action, so whatever. And Sujo helps them come back, and they come back and win that set. And then at 15-15, someone blew a whistle on Ryan Millar's quick set. Someone in the crowd blew a whistle, so Greece stopped, and Ryan just packed it, and the rest gave him the point. And then the very last point, they hit a ball that they were waiting for a touchdown and get the touch, and it was just crazy. So it's crazy because the American coach and the Greece coach, they were living in the same house. So that was just awkward. And I'm sure they're mature enough not to hate the player, but the game. If you know what I mean. Yeah. So this year, we got your book. I got a keen sense. And I'm gonna have Deron Forbes on next week to talk about another facet of We Were Kings. Basically, how beach volleyball was in the 90s, 6-figure first prizes and this and that. And I talked to her off the record about what happened, and she had so much to say. I think we're going to do this on the record next week. Someone who's got, as Andrew Dice Clay would say, for a chick, she's got some set of balls. She's gonna speak off the cuff a little bit. And anyone, Deron, don't let them go kick rocks. So that's next week. That's and I definitely you're with me, right? Check it out now. Well, it'll be up. Yeah. So you were in the main draw twice. You got Hermosa Beach with Hagen Smith.
Yep.
And you got Austin. You said this is it on one of your posts before you hit Austin. Did you just know you were gonna do it?
What? No, not at all. Not even a little. You can't know you're gonna do anything when you haven't done it. Right. And I had no, because there was a 16-team draw and every team was there. No one was missing. So that qualifier was gnarly. Madison had won San Francisco 4 months before, and he was in the qualifier. Yeah. You have an AVP champion in the qualifier, and it's not. So no, I had no idea I was going to qualify. And one of the a bunch of my friends from Florida were texting me. They're like, "This is you're going to qualify. You're going to qualify. This is your draw." I was looking at it. I was like, God dang, I don't know. Yeah. We got Matt Prosser and Baranek. We got Gabe Ospina and Lotman. Yeah. We got Dentler and Dylan. We had a bunch of really good teams.
Someone wasn't doing you any favors.
No. And I was like, no.
Should have called someone and say, what did I ever do to you guys?
And then we had, we got there at 10 because we were supposed to play at 11, 50. And we didn't end up playing till 2. Our last match ended at 11:15, so we were there from 10 in the morning to 11:15 at night. Mm-hmm. But we got smashed in the first set against Dylan and Dentler in the final round to get in. And I was like, Rafi, I have no idea what we could have done. That was 21-14, and we didn't play that bad. They just did everything right. Yeah. And then we won the second set, and we went down pretty big in the third. I was like, well, this makes sense that I'd never been around to get in before, so it makes sense that I would lose in my first round to get in. But then Dentler started cramping pretty bad. We were down 10-8. We ended up winning 15-11. So we went on a pretty nice little run there. Rafi was great. He never got phased, never did anything. Dude. Yeah. Oof. And I can't say I did a whole lot. I just kind of didn't do anything super stupid, which is surprising for me. I'm good at doing stupid stuff. But yeah, so we made it in, and I just couldn't process it.
Who was your first opponent in the draw?
We played two guys in Texas. I can't remember.
I know.
I can't remember that.
One's a blonde, right? Forget that guy's name.
No. Our second round we played Jonathan Justice, who's going to be a really good player. He is at Florida State right now, so he trains with Phil and Nick and Jason Lockhead a lot, and he's just great, like super ball control. I think he's like 20, really good shots, like really crafty. He's got everything you need. He's just like, once he gets a little bigger, he's going to be gnarly.
Okay.
He won the USAV Beach Collegiate Challenge this year.
Oh, he did?
With Adam Wienkowski.
Okay.
They beat Colton Cowell and
I know Adam
Brett.
Wienkowski. NVL guy.
Brett something.
Okay.
Another Hawaii kid. But yeah, John Justice is really good. We played him and this guy named Noel from Florida. We beat them. We played really well. And then we played Baranek and Prosser, who's a really good team. And our match was like an hour and a half.
That was Manhattan Beach. They qualified for Manhattan.
Yeah, really good. And Baranek is the guy, like, he's a rising star, like, for sure.
Yeah,
he's going to be around for a long
and I'll
time.
definitely tell you why later. But go ahead.
And so that one,
he was on our show.
We had won the first set, and we were up 2019 at the freeze, and I blew 3 points. And so we lost 22-20. I was like, shoot, sorry, Raph. Like, that one's on me. And then we were down 13-12. Which 13-12 with the freeze is terrifying because the difference between 14-13 at the freeze and 14-12 is massive. So Rafi gets a trickle ace to get us to 13s. And then we earned another to get us to 14-13.
How'd you get a trickle ace on with a freeze?
It wasn't to get to 13.
Oh, okay.
And so we get to 13-13, and then Baranek like destroys one down the line, but it was like this far out. And so Rafi was like, I don't care if you underhand it, roll it. He's like, just make sure you keep your serve in because he's going to try to bang this next one. He's like, if you see it, just like grab it. Yeah. So I go in and I try to grab his next one because he's swinging super hard angle, and I was all over the net. Okay. But Baranek taped a little bit, and so the ball went out, but because he taped, the ref didn't see my net. So me and Rafi celebrated, got out of there like as fast as we could. I'm like, no net, no net, didn't touch it. Don't know what you're talking about. And
I think
so we won.
Yeah, well, I think the rationale of the ref sometimes is if and this is an indoor thing, someone hits a tape hits you. You can they do allow net latitude.
Yeah. Well, I was definitely I was in there way.
Oh my God, they're begging for that. You guys just like nice game.
Yeah, and we got out of there as fast as we could, and then we were like dying. I was cramping pretty bad because just like I jump serve, I block, I get every single serve, so I was cramping like crazy. And so Avery Bush's mom like ran out and got us dinner, like saved our lives, and then we ended up winning against Dylan and Dentler, and it was like the longest, greatest day ever. I just tackled Try because he was there. He watched the whole thing just before Try was playing. I was like, I did it.
No, man. And Try is like, he's one of them guys that are all eternally happy for you. Has that Hawaiian chillness.
Chill. Yeah. So how long was that? Okay, from when the time you decided to come out here to that moment, how much?
So that was a little like 3.5 years after Judd first kind of picked me up.
Sweet.
Yeah. I thought you've done a lot of good things. A lot of development. Yeah, I like Memorial Day or whatever, and Labor Day or whatever they had the Hermosa Beach Open or whatever. It's always you and someone else in the semis or finals are winning and losing. So I thought as far as like uphill and doing the right things, I thought you were it was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time, and you upped your thing on training partners. You meet up with John Mayer. He's always going to have good people to train with and chill people, and they all about that. We had a conversation about growth mindset. The last seems like every episode.
Yeah.
Right? Who'd you play in the draw?
We finished at 11:15 after playing 4 matches, and then I get a text from Billy Allen at like 11:45. He's like, you got a really easy draw. I think you should stay up all night writing about qualifying. And turns out we played Billy and Ryan at 9 the next morning. And Rafi and I was like way too just jacked up on adrenaline to fall asleep. Yeah. So like it was like 2 a.m. Rafi was like, yo, you asleep? It's like, no. 3 a.m, same thing. 4 a.m. So we probably got like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep.
Oh my gosh.
Go out, play Billy and Ryan, and we were up 11-10 at the technical, and I was like, Raph, like we got this. And then, but the difference, you can tell the difference between the upper level teams and teams that like where I am right now, because the first 21 points are not. It's just a game to figure out like what your tendencies are, and then so like you'll see like a lot of qualifier teams can be up 11-10, 15-13.
Absolutely.
Then they'll lose 21-17,
Yeah.
and it looks like this crazy run, but it's premeditated.
Yeah.
It's almost inevitably going to happen.
Because they're calculating every point.
Exactly.
Right? So the
So
tendencies
they
show
just
up.
want to see what your tendencies
Right.
are, and then they pounce. And so we were up 11-10 in the first, went down 16-12. We were up 11-10 in the second set, went down 17-11. And just like that, we were like, well, shoot. And then me and Rafi both passed out for like an hour after, and then we played Chase and Avery. And we were up 20-19, the score, and then they got 2, so then they beat us to the freeze, and we had a pretty long freeze, and I was like, we lost after a pretty long freeze in the match, and I was like kind of happy that we lost because I didn't have like if we played third set we'd have lost 15-1. I had nothing left in the tank, and like that's one of the few times like I take losses pretty hard, but when I'm like I got nothing left in the tank, I was okay with it. Like Raph, let's just get some ice cream.
Yeah.
Let's go to Barton
That's
Springs.
Cool.
Oh,
Gotta
my
know when
God.
to say when, right?
Yeah. So that was cool, man. Your second draw this year was Hermosa Beach.
Yeah, that was with Hagen.
Play with Hagen.
Yeah.
Hagen Smith. That's St. John's kid for you guys at home. For you guys in New York that see the last name Smith and think it's common. It is, but not really.
Yeah.
Play the McKibbins the first round in the main draw.
Yeah.
Who'd you beat in the final before you go? I forgot.
Yeah, so we played JM Plummer, who was like the first open level player I'd ever seen. So he lives in South Florida now. But at the time when I started playing, he lived on the Panhandle. Mm-hmm. And he was the best player in the area by far. Like no one beat JM ever.
Right.
Like JM could show up like half wasted and still win every match like 20-15.
Yeah.
Like he's really good. And then he was playing with Chris Vaughn.
Yeah, we had a guy like that in New York.
And we were down for the third straight match.
Burn me.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were down for the third straight match, 10-8 in the third set, and we were down 13-11, and then we scored 5 straight, 15-13.
Nice.
Or 4 straight.
Oh, God, must have been crushing for them. We're not talking about them now. We're talking about you.
Well, Hagen has this ability where like he's one of the most competitive people I've ever met, and he just has this thing where like when you piss off Hagen and he wants to win, he's going to win.
Yeah.
In Chicago, in the second round, we played TK, Tom Kohler, and Pat Cronshaw, and we lost the first set 21-18, and TK was just serving lights out. And second set, Hagen started us off 11-0.
Yeah.
Wow.
All Hagen. I did nothing. Like he had like a bunch of aces. He would get digs on one for kills. Like I maybe turned around and said it like twice. Yeah. And then me and Hagen didn't say a word for like a half hour to finish it. Cause like third set, same thing. We started off 8-2, all Hagen again.
Wow.
And Hagen just has that switch where he's just like,
all in.
Don't mess with me. He's like Hawk mode.
I saw it for Indoor. A 4-year player at UCLA. They ran a 6-2.
Phenomenal.
The reason why you're undersized like that and you even run a 6-2 is because the boy can hit. The boy can set. And you try to use him as much as you can. Him and Micah Maha.
Micah Maha is crazy.
They're both great hitters, both great setters, and that got into the semifinals. That was like 17-15 against Ohio State, who was the subsequent champs. Actually, Ohio State's good. They won 3 times in the last 7 years. Yeah. But let's talk about this is just for fun because we got one more thing to cover after this. Yeah. Let's talk about the McKibbins. Yeah. Let's talk about set 1. Wendy, I got to skip that question.
We had no business winning that match. Zero business winning that match. Like I watched the video, which you and Jim Schaefer do Lord's work with each other.
But that's the match I missed. The first set is what I missed. The one that moved the volleyball needle is the set I missed.
Funny. Like we were getting smashed the whole set because like per usual. I mean, I got served every ball and I wasn't siding out because Madison is an unreal blocker. Like he jumps as high as anybody on tour.
He takes the elevator.
He's really good with his hands too.
He's world league as far as
I couldn't get anything. Like every time I tried to hit a high line, Madison was just like, "Oh, it's adorable," and you just chuck it back. And so we were down, I think 16-12 or 17-11, and Hagen kind of flipped that switch that he has, and he starts getting digs, starts getting more digs, and putting balls away. And like I finally got lucky and like put a few away too. And then we were down 20-18. And we had this really long rally, just a grinder, and Riley oversets Madison. And so he hits it like right to me. And so I just kind of like hit a stupid little cut shot, but I should have just beat it. And Madison was running behind and he kind of shanked the dig. It was a pretty easy ball to get. He was so mad at himself. So the ball bounces and Madison just drop kicks this thing like 100 yards out, and you could see it on the video. Like as soon as he kicked it, he was like, no, come back.
Yeah.
Like
so for those of you at home, that means they got 19-20 for the point, and then
the red card. So the red card him, and Hagen immediately he knows exactly like what to do. He goes to ref. He's like, that's a red card, and I'm looking at it and like I'm like signaling like for a flag in football. I was like, red card. Red card. So we get the red. So it's 20-20. Riley tries to swing one down the seam next. Block it to 21-20. They get a side out. We get a side out, and then we ended up.
You won.
Hagen wins on a trickle ace. We win that set on a trickle ace. So we had two of the luckiest things that have ever happened to me in beach volleyball. One, Madison punting a ball, and like Madison's not a hothead, and like one of my favorite people in the world. And like you can know it was just like this snap second. He was like, "Oh shoot!"
Like if you told me which one of the four of you on the court, they're like, "Yo, someone came up, Jay, this dude flipped the F out," and I'm like, Hagen, right?
Right.
Because he's hot high, but he's also hot low. Hagen, right? And they're like.
I have my own red card story with Hagen. And
I'm like, I'm saving Travis last. Travis don't pick balls. So, okay, it's Riley, then Madison, and then Travis. Please stop me because I don't want to get to the end. I'll be like, no freaking way, dude.
So Madison punts the ball. We ended up like lucking our way into that first win. I think we won 23-21. Yeah. And then we lose the second because they had outplayed us like the whole match. They completely, totally outplayed us. We just slipped our way into that one. And then so we got worked in the second set pretty bad. And then the third set, we're down 10-8 again. We were actually down 10-7, started out for 10-8. And I was like, well, this is the fourth straight match we've been down 10-8, and we're 3-0 so far. So this is just our favorite score. Like we intentionally did take it. Yeah. And we were down 13-11 again. Yeah. And so we're down 14-12 at the freeze, earned a couple. And then we had served Riley like the whole match. Yeah. And so I like served two down Madison's line, and like he didn't seem to like it. No. And so it kind of made him uncomfortable.
Left-handed passer, right shoulder serve, right left-handed passer.
Yeah. All right. So I got one like cut ace on Riley to get it to 14s. Served down Madison's line. I think we bombed one out. So we're now up 15-14. They call timeout. I was like, hey, I'm gonna serve down Madison's line again. And he hasn't had a cut shot yet. So if you see him like going to shoot, just get to the line. And if you see him swinging, like step in the hard angle because he's only swung hard angle. So he steps in the hard angle, digs it, and then he does inside out. So Riley digs the transition, and so it's caught. So like Hagen was blocking. I was in defense. So like anybody see me play defense, like there's a 0% chance I'm digging the ball. So Riley does the only thing that like you can't do when I'm in defense. He hits it out, and I was like, holy shit! Like we just won a main draw match.
Damn, you guys get more breaks.
So it was like
Lohan in court.
Every single beach volleyball break I've ever had happened against the Kivens. Like they outplayed us the entire match. Like we loved it.
You know your F, right? You know you got all your breaks consolidated into one solitary match. You know it's all down. As far as that luck thing, it's all downhill from there.
Well, if you watch us on Stadium Court the next day, you can see that we had zero of that juice left because we lost 21-9 thanks to my inability to pass set side out block. Lost it all.
Cool, Wendy. We're gonna get to the lightning round, but I want to know if you have something you want to ask him. I have one more, and I was hoping you get in there first.
I always go to the youth game, and we're sitting here like, what advice would you give to young up and coming kids interested in beach?
I would say
that was my question.
Boys in particular.
She just took my question.
Just kidding. Well, for me, I think a lot of it like depends on like where you live. Because if I were to give advice to like someone living in Maryland to pick up beach volleyball, you gotta move. Yeah. There's nowhere to play. Like we have courts in the Inner Harbor, but they're not used anymore, so it's like concrete. So like
you can tell these kids that I'm raising and growing up around here.
So like around here,
they have no idea. How good they have it. So why don't you tell them how good they have it?
Well, it's like crazy because like even on beaches elsewhere, like you don't see courts like beaches like Hermosa, which is just nonstop volleyball courts.
Right?
My little brother was in town for P1440 Huntington, and he saw all these courts. He was like, I've never seen anything like this. Yeah. And he had never been to California, so it was totally new to him. Wow. And he was like, I've never seen this many volleyball courts and this many like people who were actually, because we'd seen like jungle ball graduation parties, but this was like real volleyball, and he was like, this is crazy. Yeah. So I think if I had to give one piece of advice to just like kids growing up, I would say make sure you're having fun with it. I think the number one cause of people not reaching their potential or quitting or dropping out early is burnout.
Yeah.
Because you look at everyone specializing early.
Right.
Don't specialize.
No,
Just
hell no. Not
Play
as
for a
kids,
couple.
yeah.
Play basketball, play baseball, play tennis, play golf, play beach.
Yep.
Do everything, and it'll make it so easy. Like you look at Tim Baumgren. There's no reason he should be one of the best blockers in the United States, but he played everything growing up. So he has all the movements, all the coordination, everything you could possibly need. You put in enough hours to train that specific sport, you're going to be really good at it in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So play everything, find something you like later in life, and then you can specialize. But train, just have fun. Like if there's a sport that like you like, if you really like rowing, go pick up rowing.
Yeah.
If you really like golf, go pick up golf. Like that'll train
And
the
it's
mental
hard.
side.
It's hard to beat it back.
Yep.
Because there is so much opportunity out there, and if you show up and you're good and you're young, they come in after you, and you push, and
Yeah, and then you end up resenting the sport that you love so much.
Yeah.
The only person I've ever seen keep that just childlike, giddy love for a sport who never really branched outside of it is Sarah Hughes.
yeah,
Like Sarah has been beach volleyball all the time
She gotta
since
be
she
showing it
was
now, though.
young. And
Yeah.
and like since she was like 8 years old,
Yeah.
and she was so good, like just volleyball all the time. And you watch her play, and you're just like, that is one really
she's
happy kid.
joyful.
Like
Yeah,
she
for
just
sure.
loves doing
Yeah.
what she's doing. Like
Yeah.
if you have that love for what you're doing, like that's what you should go
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, I totally agree with well, geographical location is cool. Like if you ever place an indoor facility, that's fine. Do that.
Yeah.
Two, any level of seriousness, you move. Third is get a coach. So we're not just talking about kids coming up, because you're talking about do other things, do other sports. Let's say you decide to be specific on something. Don't tell yourself you're just a front row blocker. Don't just tell yourself you're a backward defender. Play everything. Indoor.
That's what's so good about beach.
My kids at Evolution.
You get to do
My kids
everything, right?
Yeah.
My kids at Evolution, I tell them play 3 positions, because you don't know when you're going to figuratively as well as literally stop growing. Don't have some coach say that you can't do this, you can't do that. You're only 15, 16 freaking years old. What? So,
Don't be an indoor.
but after those kids and after you move and you become late teens or whatever, early 20s, as much as you think you know, as fast as your learning curve has gone, get a coach. Get a coach. We just talked about people, right? Eric Baranek got a coach.
Yep.
Ricardo made the draw 4 times with 4 different partners. Michael Boag.
I think back
Michael Boag is 4 for 4 qualifier to draw. Don't know who's coaching you right now, but if you ain't got a coach right now, Travis.
That's the thing. So I'm part of the P1440 developmental program. So we have one of my favorite people in the world, Leandro Pinheiro.
Yeah.
He coaches. And it's funny, too, because there's a little bit of a language barrier there, because he speaks Portuguese and just a little bit of English. But the language barrier helps because he has to keep it simple.
Yeah.
So he gave me just advice on my blocking. He was like, just stay balanced. And that was it. It wasn't put your hand here, put your hand there, do this with your feet. It's like, just stay balanced. And I blocked the best I've ever blocked in Huntington Beach just because I was like, oh, well, if I stay balanced and I'm not finishing my block here, instead I'm finishing it here because I'm balanced, it makes a world of difference. So instead of having these stupid little soft blocks that everyone can cover, now they're actually like blocking down.
That's my first volleyball.
But I think the best coaching always comes down to like that simple thing you can boil down.
Yeah.
And then you can listen to all these words, and then there'll be one thing that you're like, that's it, I'm taking that.
Yeah.
And it can be in anything, like in any sport, in physical therapy, and there's always one thing that you grab onto, and it changes.
My first volleyball job was actually as a blocking coach at New York City Technical College, but look no further than this weekend, Anaheim, right? Sports Center. We're playing SCVC, right?
So fun.
And we're up 15-14. We get blown away or whatever because they're worried more about the letters on their shirt instead of who you're playing. But I could pump someone up. I'm like, then no one's entitled to freaking beat you just because they have that guy. What? They ain't entitled. They don't lose the match before it even starts. So what I do is 15-14. I got the guy with the least volleyball experience, and this is one you're gonna love. I'm like, yo, listen, block right side. They got, don't even help out the middle. Block right side. One hand in his face, turned in. The other hand goes after the ball. I said, if it's tight, you do what? He said, put both hands on the ball. I said, if it's off the net, what do you do? He says, make sure his left is closed with the other guy's right. And one play later, he goes up and he takes this. He doesn't do this. He does this on his this, right? And goes up, and he's like 6 feet tall, but he weighs like $110, $115, so he's gonna get up.
Yeah.
But they're going straight down. Everyone goes wild, but not this kid. He goes
just a subtle fist pump.
Like, You know, because
did I just?
yeah, it was almost like one of those things where like he's waiting for the next play, but there is no next play. It was just time. You know, we've all been in those situations like time slows down around you, and I thought it was just a great moment for him because he doesn't get a lot of playing time, and I put him in. You know, the parents were like,
"That's good
is
stuff."
he crazy? Yeah. You put that kid point game. What? Do you want to? He doesn't want to win. He doesn't want to win. He put that kid in. He doesn't want to win. You know. So that was just this weekend.
Yeah.
That was just this weekend. So listen, we can take you forever, but you got somewhere you need to be. Okay.
I will throw in one thing for the coaching because we mentioned how important it is to get a coach. Mm-hmm. Coaching can be like if you're going for beach. Not a lot of beach players have like a ton of expendable income. So like say you don't have the money for a coach, ask questions.
Yes.
Everyone is willing to help. Like I didn't have a coach until this year, but everyone is so willing to help you. Just ask them questions. Just say, hey, John, like I can't figure out how to not double this set on the left side in transition. What do you do? And he'll just give you he'll tell you. Go to any AVP tournament, and the most accessible professional athletes you'll ever see are beach volleyball players.
Yeah.
Like when we were in New York.
Isn't that how we learned?
Yeah, I mean.
Like when we were in New York, me and my dad and my mom were walking back, and like we would just run into Phil, and Phil's like, hey, dude, like how'd the qualifier go? And we just talked to Phil for like 20 minutes. And my dad was like, if we had been leaving a Lakers game, that would be the equivalent of just walking down the road with LeBron James.
Yeah.
And it's like, ask questions. Everyone is willing to help beach volleyball players because there are so few resources to be helped in beach volleyball. Yeah. So just if you don't have the money for a coach, totally fine. Just ask people. Find a coach and just say, hey, like, what did you see in this practice? Just get one snippet or just ask a player, ask someone, ask an opponent, ask your partner. Someone will be willing to help you.
Yeah. Well, I actually learned how to play. I bought a book and coached myself. That's how I learned how to play. I'm from New York. I'm going to talk about where you're from, basketball, volleyball's a girl sport. New York is basketball country. Yeah. Okay. Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. How does a kid from Brooklyn, New York play indoor or beach? Never mind beach, even indoor. What a book. AVCA, American Volleyball Coaches Association handbook written by Doug Beal. Yeah. And learned the vertical jump. I got fingerprints on my ceiling, you know, from doing like the 4-step approach and jumping and pivoting and all that stuff. And had this plastic ball. I'm in the backyard bumping in the snow. Plastic ball burning your forearms. And 4 years later, I'm playing professionally. So I mean, I was indoor. So that was just, you know, like you were talking about. I played football, played basketball, this and that. I was gonna get into how I play because of next week because Duran's coming and we were gonna get into how, you know, her daughters and this and that. And I'm gonna definitely save that for another time. All right, so we're almost done with you. We have something we call the lightning round.
Questions. Hit me with it.
Yeah.
That reminds me of my favorite Friends episode. Do you guys watch Friends?
Oh my gosh.
The one with the lightning round?
Yes. And secondarily, my kids are now watching Friends on Netflix.
Oh, Troy Yearwood, I see you, baby. You're from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. I love you, kid. My boy Troy just said hi. He's my kid.
What's up, Troy?
We grew up off Flatbush Avenue together. And Prospect Park, they play grass court.
Okay.
Every week, so and it's all West Indian, Haiti, Jamaica, people from their national team. That's who I came up with. These are my mentors, Carlito and them guys from Creole, the older Creole when they were all Haitian. All right, so what do we got? What do you got for a lightning round question?
Oh man, okay. Pool or ocean?
Definitely ocean for sure.
Okay.
Cool. Last good read besides We Were Kings.
Ooh, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Phenomenal book. If you're a coach, read Atomic Habits. If you're a player, if you just like want to,
who's the author?
James Clear.
Okay.
So good. So good.
Atomic Habits. I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie is Remember the Titans.
Great one.
Close second, Lion King, followed by Moana.
Oh, this is good stuff.
I have a manly selection.
Amen.
How many feet are in the mile? 5,280. You grab that ball. You're killing me. All right.
Poor Petey.
Oh. Poor Petey. Petey opened his mouth. Right? Ideal partner at the highest echelon, in the inside or outside of the AVP, be it FIVB, be it P1440. Ideal partner.
Taylor Crabb.
That's
for sure.
That's a very good partner.
Yeah. Well, just as like a short blocker, I need someone who's really fast.
Yeah.
To run around and clean up behind my tiny block.
Remember the finals? Remember the finals when
which one?
Alexander,
so many.
No, the King of the Beach, Alexander Samoilos picked Casey Patterson.
Yeah.
What's his name? Ricardo goes, I'm taking Taylor Crabb. Taylor was shit-faced the night before. And I talked to him. He said the only reason why I'm here is because my friend said he might pick
Yeah.
you. He wasn't even gonna go.
Yeah.
So I just told on you. This is why you don't talk to me, Taylor.
Oh, Hungover Taylor's so good.
Yes.
Yeah, like we played.
Take him south of Denton,
The
right?
picture that you have right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we played Taylor and Chase Buttinger in the Laguna Open, and we were
Getting up.
I think we were down like 17-11, ended up being up 2019, and then Hungover Taylor kind of turned on the switch, and then we got smashed in the second. We ended up losing the first play.
Right?
Yeah. So like Hungover Taylor, phenomenal athlete, so good.
Cool. You go.
Last meal.
My last meal
Yeah.
was an Egg McMuffin and this coffee at McDonald's.
Picture of health. I love it.
Big supporter of McDonald's.
No, there you go. It's cheap, right?
Cheap.
Anyone that says it's
Yeah.
cheap to eat healthy is not being very candid with the American.
I typically make every meal that I eat, but I slept at Travis, and then he left for Hawaii today, so I just picked up a classic McMuffin on the way.
That's cool.
And some coffee. This is like, I'm a caffeine junkie.
There it
I'm
is.
just like totally okay with it.
Ice cream or cupcakes?
Oh, ice cream for sure. I love ice cream. I eat ice cream like every day.
Cool.
Ice cream at McDonald's. I'm really putting out the positive messages here.
It's working for you. I
Let's
guess.
go. Let's go. Let's
You're
go.
young. Stick with it.
Let's go. One more piece.
Okay. Where am I? Oldest friend.
Oldest friend is my boy Jason Wheatley. We grew up together, and then I ended up actually moving out here sort of with him. So his fiance at the time grew up in Brea, California, and then they got married, and so they started a family out here. So when I first moved here, I moved into their spare bedroom.
Sweet.
So yeah, we've been best friends since kindergarten until now.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude. And last but not least, the person that you look forward to playing against the most, be it competitively or
I think
just for fun.
I think it's got to be Phil.
Yeah.
Or I would love
still the measuring stick in which
Phil,
everyone
or
compares it.
right now, like, and hopefully I get to this point that I actually get to do it in person, Anders and Christian.
Yeah.
Because he came on the podcast and we traveled around a little bit together, and like they're such good dudes.
Yeah.
Like they're awesome kids and just freaks.
Got a chance to talk to him in
So
Vegas.
good.
I was in Vegas, and Christian Honer's like, I want to talk to this dude. I said, well, come with me because because I'm the one. I guess I'm the one that got to break the damn,
Yeah.
Because I talk to everybody, and I just came up to him. I said, "Yo, my boy Christian. I wanted to talk to you about who do you train with, and this and that." And they're like, we usually train in Spain and this and that. So, and I talked. He was talking to Christian, and I ended up talking to Andrews a little bit, and their English is very good. They're very, very, very mature for mature beyond their years for 20 and 23 years old.
Yeah.
And they were the
not even
best. They were
23.
they were the best team in the world. They
So
weren't the best
good.
team in the world for nothing. There were some close matches in San Jose, right? I mean,
Yeah,
they
that
finished
was some fun
second,
volleyball.
but Vegas wasn't close. I don't think anyone took a set. They cracked the code.
Alvaro and Ricardo took a set on them.
Oh, they did?
And,
Okay.
Christian Varenhorst and Jasper Booter did.
Okay.
That was in
Nice.
pool play, and then
Yeah.
Alvaro and Ricardo was first round of elimination, and then after that, it was just straight through.
I saw the semis and finals. That's why I was on.
They're
I
so good.
don't even remember. I was working court 5 the entire tournament.
Yeah, it was
That's
crazy.
why I was calling.
And
So I didn't have a
play-
chance. I didn't have a chance to see anything else.
Yeah.
But
Dude, Anders had to play in the semifinals against Try and Trevor, where Christian dug one way off the court. Anders runs down, bicycle kicks it from like 30 feet off. And it was like he hand set it. It was a 50-50 ball right on the net, and Christian was like, blah. And Try and Trevor were like, what are you supposed to do against that?
do we have that? Because you
Well,
and
you
me,
can
we
find
got to do top 10 plays of the year.
You can find
I think with the material
sure.
we got,
if you watch their vlogs, when their vlog from Vegas, they have that one from like 3 different angles. It's absolutely insane.
cool. All right, well, we're gonna let you go. But
Cool.
before you go, I have an idea. Before you leave,
All right.
what should be? We can do it January because we can still do a top 10 plays of 2018 in January. I want you to come up with 5. I'll come up with 5. I'm gonna set up a split screen from wherever you're set up.
Okay.
Like a split screen.
Are we doing like international and AVP and P14?
Hell yeah. What do you think?
All
You
right.
think I'm
I
just an
started doing some film
AVP?
study.
Okay, Casey, I love you. I'm not just a P1440 guy. I'm a volleyball guy.
Yeah.
My job is to talk about volleyball.
Yeah.
So come up with 5. Yeah. And,
All right, 5 it is.
I'll cite as a pretext. You got that one.
All right.
That's definitely going to be it has to be in the top 10.
And the rest of
somewhere.
them, because like my volleyball like man crushes are Piotr Cantor and Bartosz Losiak. So
Yeah.
probably 4 more going to
The jump bump.
Just jump set.
The jump bump. He jumps in the
Yeah.
air. Bumps.
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
Thanks for having me on.
Joe, the pleasure's
Appreciate
all
it.
mine. Honestly, I thought this was long overdue, because you're a volleyball personality.
Yeah,
as well
I
as,
apologize for like being so like flaky too. I've been all over the place in
Sure, that
this
one?
month.
Yeah, that Wendy. He said he's sorry.
So-
He wrote a book.
He
It
said
takes some
he's
time,
sorry.
you know. Got places to meet.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that's all I got for you. I've had enough of you, and my guess is you've had enough of me, all right? For Wendy Jones from the Optimist Journal and the great Travis Mewhirter, I'm Jason DeBillius.
Appreciate it, bud.
So long, guys. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love all of yous.
Thanks.
Let's do that.
Thanks for having me.
That was great.